heart is beating out of my chest. I actually mentioned earlier that I wanted to perform, but I didn't finish my poem. But I did out of inspiration for today's theme, freedom. I've never performed before. I've always written but been too afraid. But as I mentioned earlier, my definition of freedom is letting go of fear. So even though I'm nervous and my voice is shaking right now, I'm trying to do this to hopefully inspire anyone that hasn't performed before. But get over that fear and just let it all go. So I wrote this poem yesterday, and I didn't actually finish it, but I decided to leave it as is, and hopefully it'll continue on as a series. So I think I'm going to call it The Cycle. Part 1, and to go along with the theme of freedom, I relate it a lot to letting go of fear, and right now I'm going to talk about love, but in a different perspective other than my own as a female, because I feel like as females we maybe make ourselves as victims sometimes, like, oh, all guys are the same, and give ourselves reason to be afraid or to fall in love. So this perspective is actually from a male perspective, and I guess after I perform, it'll be self-explanatory. This was actually inspired by someone that I met recently too, so here we go. He was the type of guy who fell too fast for the girls who were afraid of falling for another ass. Whole, he tried to make them feel, but fear will make you question what you think is real. So none would believe his intentions were genuine. Hard to believe he wanted to start off as just friends, take things slow, long walks to the parks. Why do the nice guys always fall for the ones with broken hearts? See, mama had raised him to be the perfect gentleman, but mama didn't predict that type of man would come to an end. So he grew up always wondering why he'd do everything right, yet girls would always treat him so wrong. Every new girl eventually became another sad love song. He just couldn't figure out what he was doing wrong. So he thought to himself, maybe mama was wrong. Maybe I should listen to my friends. All his homeboys would ask him the same questions over and over again. It's supposed to be my goon voice, so I'm gonna get into that.
Get that Scarborough in you, girl.
Here's my goon voice. Yo! When are you coming to the club next? Why won't you let us hook you up with a fine girl to get you over your ex? Why do you spend so much time listening to what girls have to say? Why don't you just tell them what they want to hear so you can get some play? Man, if you keep acting so soft, these girls, man, they'll walk all over you, and you. You know why don't you listen to your homeboys? You know we keep it true. See, the same girls who complain about what they want in a man wouldn't know what to do with one if he were to land right before their eyes. See, these girls, man, are full of just as many lies as they accuse us of. That's why nice guys like you get played as a sucker for love. See, these girls, man. Okay, back to being poetic. Tired of being played for a fool. He felt worn down and used as if he were a tool. So he started to become the type of guy who would break the hearts of all the girls he used to fall for, the boy who'd make all the girls cry. His true colors started to change like autumn leaves. He was tired of the pain that came from wearing his heart on his sleeves. So he stopped opening doors, text messages he would ignore, started going to the clubs, started popping bottles, now only chasing girls if they look like models. But every female encounter he'd make now felt so empty. He couldn't figure out why this new emotionless persona still didn't make him happy. So here we have a nice guy lost in a world so cold. A world where show no feelings is what we're constantly told. I just end it like that, as kind of like free to interpret as to what you think. I feel like as females, it's important us not to victimize ourselves. It's so easy to say, oh, every guy is the same. They only want the same things. But I read an interesting tweet the other day. It was kind of inappropriate, but can still kind of relate to what I was talking about. It said, in part of my language, females who complain that guys only want sex usually only have that to offer. So it kind of just got me thinking about this, that we have to be free to free ourselves from fear. We can't expect that just because someone has hurt us in the past that every new person we encounter is going to be the same, or else you'll just keep holding on to pain. And there is a quote that one of my friends came up with that hurt people hurt people. So I feel like as I continue to write this series, it'll show how a cycle goes on, as like one person gets hurt and they go on to hurt someone else, and then that person's too afraid to let go, so we keep hurting each other, and then we have to be brave enough to be free to love, or else we'll all keep hurting each other. So that's my story.